Emilia acting as the true leader that she was born to be, the smiles of Garf and Federica after defeating their horrifying enemies, Roswell's numb expression as he tries to restore Ram's horn, and the ultimate moment we've been waiting for this entire season. Beatrice and Subaru holding hands as they face the greatest horror the show has created, the White Rabbit. This week's episode, entitled Choose Me, was just another leap forward by ReZero in cementing its place as one of the greatest isekai that's ever been written. One with a small but dedicated and passionate fanbase. With teary eyes and smiles on our face, we're here for this week's ReZero Season 2 Episode 24 review and analysis. But before we get into it, we would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button for some more ReZero and Attack on Titan episode breakdowns. Like if you enjoy the video, and comment what your favorite part of the episode was. We appreciate your support. ReZero constantly excels in its ability to create enormous character development out of characters we never thought possible. Explaining the face value psychotic actions of a character into somehow molding our view to understanding their reasoning. It's a fact best demonstrated in this episode by the development of Roswell's and Beatrice's storyline as we learn more about their past. The episode started off with a confusing Emilia asking the residents of Sanctuary about what the hell the ginormous Ingashuk-looking ice shield was at the entrance of the tomb, to which the old lady replied that they thought it was Emilia who made that to save them from the snow. As soon as Emilia touches the ice shard, we get a very interesting transition as the screen blacked out for a moment before Emilia hears Puck's voice in her mind. As we are already aware of the fact that Puck terminated the contract between Emilia and himself, this transition could easily be proof that their contract is somehow coming back to form. A few theories come to mind, as first that despite Puck saying the contract is over, his appearance repeatedly through the season behind the curtain shows that there's a good chance that he'll be with our team again. And second, as far as we know, there's no power currently in Emilia's possession that allows her to communicate with people afar. It might have been a message through lesser spirits, but given the subtle moment-building suspense and intrigue, we doubt it was left there for no reason. Two important moments come from this scene that we want to talk about. First, this scene was the first moment in the show where we truly had Emilia act as a leader. When she delegated the role of overseeing the group and told them to hide in the graveyard, this was the moment we've been waiting for to see Emilia grow as a leader. Second, looking back at episode 21, the old woman explains that their internal officer had already told them everything, staring at Otto before Natsuki interrupts him inquiring about who they were referring to. We believe that the internal officer had just been revealed as Puck through this conversation. We then proceed to see a very heartwarming conversation between Roswell and Puck as Roswell attempts to heal Ram's horn. Puck assures the fandom that Ram will survive the attack by Roswell. Puck's wording here was interesting, as he stated that it was very uncharacteristic of Roswell to lose his temper like that. Puck also praises Roswell for his excellent control over magic, stating that, "As far as I know, there's no human as strong as you." Another interesting moment comes right after, as Puck says, "No matter how far you will go, you will still be a human, and will never be like that devil." A clear reference to Hector, the Warlock of Melancholy. We've already mentioned before that there is definitely something wrong with Roswell, and it involves Hector, as we see Roswell take some personality traits from him. But this change in personality actually isn't explained clearly until later this episode, where we get a hint into this change. We'll get to that later though, when we talk about Beatrice's story. This scene ends with an incredible change in Roswell as a character without his guiding tomb of wisdom. He doesn't know how to function and calls out for his master, Echidna. This existential crisis will most likely be the trigger that saves everyone in the sanctuary as they face the White Rabbit. Turning to Emilia in the mana chamber, we see Shima trying to push through the many Ryuzu Mayor clones as she innocently cracks us up, saying that, "This many of you, that must have been really tough for your mother." Lines like these really fit Tappei Nagatsuki's statement that Emilia is the most tone-deaf character in the show, but we definitely still love her all the same. We learn that the spell that guarded the body of the original Ryuzu Mayor had been finally broken after Emilia completed the trial. Shima-san told Emilia about her final job, but wasn't quite clear on what it was. All the viewers got was a shining mana crystal that disappeared into the air somehow, but it looks like Shima-san either sacrificed the energy of the original Ryuzu to fully free the sanctuary or transported her body somewhere else. A very quick, subtle moment has to be mentioned here, as we notice that around the 5-minute and 55-second mark, Echidna's voice is heard instead of Shima's, saying, "Unbelievable, you see this, and that's the first thing you think of." Oddly enough, no one in the room seems to react to this change, which sets an interesting theory that Echidna may be more present in the world than we thought. Emilia rushes to Ram's aid, meeting the broken Roswell, sitting without any hope left in his eyes, frozen on Ram. We then get an incredible moment in the series, as we usually get to see Natsuki whipping out his patented talk no jutsu on characters, but instead get Emilia bringing out an incredible emotional speech to Roswell as she overcame the 3 trials and fought against his worthless statement that it doesn't matter anymore, and that he should never give up. An incredible moment to see our near-broken character throughout the season give such powerful motivation to the one we've hated the most. Unfortunately cut off by the disgusting White Rabbit's appearance. A horrifying scene to even imagine Emilia going through what Natsuki had to deal with twice now. By the way, if you look at 11 minutes and 55 seconds, you'll see the red circle on the backside of the White Rabbit, but we can't quite remember seeing that. Comment below if you've noticed it before. Leaving the White Rabbit and the horrifying image of Emilia having to deal with it in the garbage where it belongs, we then learn one of the most interesting and explanatory revelations of the story as our jaws fall on the ground, learning that Roswell had been pulling an Orochimaru throughout his life, taking over the bodies of his descendants in order to fulfill his goals. His entire life has been spent recovering from the defeat from Hector, and from what we saw from the flashbacks, he was never able to fully recover. Instead of reaching the height of true magic, he spiraled into the grim road of sinister sorcery through which he aimed to bring Echidna back to life. A key aspect to pay attention to here is that the first Roswell had blue eyes, but every single one after him had one yellow and one blue eye, which is likely showcasing how 2 souls exist within one body. One particular moment is important to note too, as he spoke completely differently and acted differently when he saw the body most similar to his current state. One theory is that it's possible that he stole Hector's powers around then, or merely succumbed to his insanity and took over his being to mimic Hector's aesthetic. Another key moment to note is that Roswell said he was going to deal with the Witch of Greed, but he never ever addressed Echidna as that before, and always referred to her as mother or teacher. A theory we have is that everything is pointing towards Pandora, the Witch of Vainglory, somehow working with Echidna and altering the memories of people, which might explain why they never showed Echidna's face in any flashback we saw from anyone's perspective. We learn about Puck and Beatrice's connection as Puck was seen as an older brother to Betty, something mentioned in the novels stating that he was created by the Witch of Greed before her and was separated from Beatrice, Roswell, and Ryuzu Mayer because his purpose was to wander the world without finding meaning in it. Something that could very well be already foreseen by Echidna, that Puck was destined to accompany Emilia at some point in the future. This could be why she sent him away despite the threat of Hector swirling around her head. Truth be told, there should actually be a ReZero if story when we see Puck fight Hector, but hopefully we might see that one day in the main storyline. In a way, Beatrice is even envious of Puck because he found his purpose in this world, but she is yet to find something meaningful to cling to, which explains why she rarely interacted with Emilia. We learn over and over again how horrible Betty's life has been through losing the people she cares about, and we couldn't be happier now that Natsuki's been able to break her down. Finally, our dear Betty will be joining our team, and we hope that with Natsuki, Beatrice and Emilia will be enough to deal with the White Rabbit, with a little bit of help from Roswell, we hope. Until next week, we hope you've enjoyed this week's breakdown of ReZero, and we'll be back next week for Season 2, Episode 24, and Attack on Titan Season 4, Episode 14 and 15. Until then, don't forget to toss us a like, subscribe, and feel free to comment below if we missed anything. Also, check out our ReZero and Attack on Titan playlist for past episodes. Thanks for watching!